So this past month in cinema, man, there's been some stinkers. There's been massive bombs dropped in the cinema. And as of right now, one of them, which is this bad boy, I'm so bad at this. Borderlands was so bad that 3 weeks after the theatrical release, they're planning on bringing it on video on demand and allow you to buy it, to rent it, whatever, right? It's one of those movies I would probably recommend just holding off until it's on Netflix or Hulu or whatever platform they decide to offer it for free. But, you guys, this is not the only video game adaptation that has flopped. There's been multitudes of IPs, intellectual properties for you people that don't know, that have made it to the movie theater and just absolutely bombed, like gloriously. So we're going to talk about some of them because Kotaku released a list. So of course we're going to talk about it. Some of these, okay, I can agree with. Other ones, I'm like, that shouldn't be on that list because this is the 13 of the worst video game movies ever made. Let's go. Starting this list off, of course, we got Doom from 2005. I will admit, this one does hold like a special place in my heart because like I actually found this movie entertaining when I was a kid. I watched it recently, the extended cut. I'm going to tell you guys right now, there's quite a few movies out there that do get extended cuts that do make the movie, that it just makes it that much better. And Doom's extended cut does make it that much better. Come find out there was a second film released, Doom Annihilation, in 2019. It wasn't a direct sequel, but it was also bad. Okay, noted. On to the next one. Uncharted. Uncharted is such a bad movie. I'm just going to throw that out there. It felt like it was trying to be like, was it National Treasure with, what's his face? Nicolas Cage. And it just kind of came up short for me, considering how revered the Uncharted series is for telling such great stories from Naughty Dog. I think Tom Holland's casting was okay. Mark Wahlberg was more of a questionable casting in this role as Sully. But I think genuinely they should have just recasted Mark Wahlberg because originally he was supposed to play Nathan Drake. Tom Holland, okay, I'll give it to him. I think he has the potential of being a good Nathan Drake, but Mark Wahlberg should have been recasted. Uncharted, it was I don't even think it was a fun movie. Like, personally, I didn't, it was just okay. Next one. Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li. I ain't gonna lie. This movie I totally forgot about. Every time there's like the worst video game movies of all time, this one always tops the list with other stinkers that we're going to talk about here in a little bit. But Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li, god awful. It's terrible. The movie looks like it's a made-for-sci-fi movie. And on top of that, it's got what's her name from Smallville. It's just like, it actually has a decent cast, but came up way short. Bowles video game movie adaptations. This guy's notorious, right? Because all through the early and mid 2000s, homie here released all kinds of movie like adaptations for IPs. And if you come down here, he did shoddy work on movies like Alone in the Dark, Blood Rain, Far Cry, and he's become synonymous with why video game movies shouldn't exist. Like the Far Cry movie looks like it should be a made-for-TV movie. Blood Rain, I believe, was a made-for-TV movie because it tested so bad. I just remember it going to sci-fi like that. Alone in the Dark, I don't even think I've watched that one. But I do remember watching Blood Rain on Sci-Fi, same with Far Cry. But he was so bad. There were petitions asking him to retire back in 2008. Bull eventually retired in 2016 and pivoted to the restaurant business and has since returned to filmmaking. That's called being resilient. I'll give that man that. Next one, Warcraft. Okay, so Warcraft, I have yet to watch. It's been out for a hot minute. I've heard, truth be told, I've heard nothing but good things about Warcraft. But the same token, a lot of the guys that talk highly of Warcraft are also World of Warcraft players. I'm not sure if you need to know a backstory on World of Warcraft or what have you in order to like really enjoy the movie, but some of the CGI I've seen, like it looks like a good movie. I just haven't watched it. And I know it was available on Netflix there for a while, but I can't really speak too much of it. Borderlands, we've already talked about this briefly. This is probably one of the biggest flops ever for Hollywood. I think that the casting was terrible because Roland should be much taller than 5'5". Like Kevin Hart was a terrible choice. Kate Blanchett should have not been casted as Lilith. It should have been a much younger actress. But like I said, I can't speak too much of it because I wasn't going to waste my money to support something that's this bad. Next one, Hitman. Agent 47 cannot catch a break in this film department. Both attempts to make a Hitman movie have been dreadful. The first attempt in 2007 was dragged for its awful writing and so poorly received that a sequel was canceled. The 2015 reboot, Hitman Agent 47, didn't fare any better. And maybe it's for its time company to realize that it's not be the video game series to adapt to a big budget film. This is the thing, is Hitman is a very cut and dry series. There's no reason for a Hitman series not to do good. That's all I got to say because it's a very, very simple concept. Agent 47, blah, 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 blah. I genuinely feel that one should be one of the easiest ones to adapt because they already make movies that are very, very similar to the concept of Agent 47 and the Hitman franchise. On to the next one. Super Mario Brothers movie. Okay, I don't agree with this one being on the list. This movie was a lot of fun. It was actually pretty decent. Like, I'm not going to say it's the be-all, end-all when it comes to video game movies. I just think it was very well written. Well, I would say it's very enjoyable. The voice acting was done very well. But let's see. While the Super Mario Brothers movie has been resounding success at the box office, the Chris Pratt-led animated film felt like it was a natural endpoint of a group of suits trying to stuff every focus test idea and banal into a 90-minute long movie. Okay, like, I want to agree to disagree on that one because there is a lot of concepts that they tried to squeeze into this movie. Genuinely, though, this movie was fun. It really was. The now viral Bowser Peaches song and the titular brothers' early escapades in Brooklyn before their into the Mushroom Kingdom. I mean, I'm kind of surprised, truth be told, that this man gave this one of the worst ones. Injustice, I can't speak too much of this. Now, when it comes to a lot of these adaptations of comic books and stuff like that, the Warner Brothers animation or DC animation department actually does pretty freaking well. There's only like there's dozens of these movies out there, especially animated and adapted, comics to animation. There's only like 2 or 3 that I thought were like garbage. I have yet to watch this one. I may have to boot up my, my Max account and actually check this out. Next one, Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. Not my, I heard this one was super bad, so I didn't even attempt to watch it. DOA, Dead or Alive. I do remember watching this one. And this movie is a crapshoot. It is bad. It's up there with Street Fighter, Legends of Chun-Li. Fighting game movies are some of the hit or miss when it comes to adaptations. You have an easy setup for a lot of action, usually by a staged tournament that attracts a bunch of larger-than-life personalities. But stringing it together with a proper plot is the biggest obstacle for these movies. And it goes back to what a lot of the issue is for a lot of these movies is the fact that you're trying to take, 60, 70, 80 hours worth of gameplay and put it into a 2-hour-long movie and not really explaining too much. That's what really hurts a lot of these. And on top of that, a lot of suits at places that work, like Warner Brothers and so on and so forth, they really want to crank it out in one movie, call it good, and if it does well, it'll be greenlit for a sequel. The issue is like a lot of these movies, they need sequels. They need multiple movies, such as The Last Airbender, the Avatar. The first attempt by M. Night Shyamalan to bring Avatar: Last Airbender to the screen The problem with it was M. Night Shyamalan wanted to do 3 movies. The the movie company was like, no, you're getting 1 movie, and that's why we got a crapshoot known as The Last Airbender. Next one, Final Fantasy Spirit Within. Okay. I actually enjoyed this movie. I was also a kid when it came out. It was a lot of fun. The animation was amazing during that time because it was 2001. But watching it nowadays, it's just okay. When it comes to Final Fantasy, though, it's really not that hard. Set it up in a dystopian, universe that, you can sit down and just be able to, build a story off of. And you don't even need to build the story off of anything that's already out there. Because all Final Fantasy games is basically a standalone, game. Excuse me. And of course, they got sequels. And then Assassin's Creed. This movie was an abomination. I was so excited when I saw that Assassin's Creed was coming to the big screen. I love the story of Ezio. I love the story of Altair. I love the story of Connor. There's so many great stories that could be told. And they don't even need to go off of, Desmond's story. You can totally and completely come up with your own storyline and just start something. And instead, they came up with this bullshit. It was bad. I didn't like how the Animus was set up. I didn't Michael Fassbender, he did as much as he could do to try to salvage that movie, but it was bad. So genuinely, that list there's a lot of really big stinkers there, and then there's a lot of them that I'm like, there was only one that I really didn't agree with, and that was the Super Mario Brothers movie. I think that movie was a lot of fun, and it was actually very well done for it to target children like that. Anyways, guys, don't forget to mash that like button. Comment down below what's your favorite video game movie adaptation. And subscribe, man. I can't do this stuff without y'all. We're on our way to 9,000 subscribers. It's ridiculous to think that we've made it this far. Anyways, you guys, y'all take it easy. Have a great, wonderful day, and I'll catch you later.